We go to New York.
Wow!
The Zoltar era has begun with its arms open wide.
You sure about that?
Hamas lovers made their way down to New York City Synagogue just to say hi
bullshit?
by harassing the fuck out of the Jews.
I'm shocked.
New Yorkers, you voted for this.
Fuck.
I'm Jazz Berganzo on this. And just think, there's going to be so much more kumbaya like this.
Hell no!
For the next 4 years. Enjoy.
Fuck off.
But it's what's next.
And here we go.
What's up, everyone? Jazz Berganzo, what's next? Your daily dose. Hope you guys are feeling good today on this Friday. Of course, Friday, end of a long week. Going into the weekend is always a good thing. But it seems like as every week passes, there's more bullshittery, more nonsense, more garbage being spewed all over the place. Speaking of spewed, we go to New York, where for those of you who've been living in a cave for the last few days, there's a new mayor in town. He happens to be a Muslim socialist commie, the first of its kind in New York City. And of course, after what happened at 9/11 24 years ago, you would think that New York City would have learned by now. But no. Anyway, we go to a New York City synagogue where, of course, you have a contentious Jewish population, of course, in New York City. And you had people come down and visit. You had Hamas lovers. They just wanted to come down and sing Kumbaya and hold hands and a couple of them roll up with cookies and a pie. Anyway, they wanted to say hi and, how you doing? And by harassing the out of them, including a 93-year-old rabbi. And just think, New Yorkers, you got 4 more years of this. And here we go. This comes out of Breitbart. Hamas lovers. Activists besiege New York City synagogue. Mamdani era has begun. Yes, it has. And of course, a gentleman holding a wonderful sign there about Nuremberg. And of course, we got blown his hands. And, I wonder how long it took for him to put that together. Anyway, hundreds of pro-Palestinian activists besieged Manhattan's prestigious Park East Synagogue on Wednesday night, chanting, "Globalize the Intifada, death to IDF, and take another settler out," in what critics warning is just the beginning of a radicalized climate under socialist mayor-elect Zohan Mamdani. The nighttime demonstration targeted an event about Jewish immigration to Israel hosted inside the synagogue, which has stood in the East 67th Street since 1890 and also houses a prominent Jewish day school. Organizers from Palo Alto, New York, and New Jersey, Within Our Lifetime, Jewish Voice for Peace in New York, and allied anti-Israel groups promoted the rally as no settlers on stolen land and a protest to stop the settler recruiting fair, branding the program as a settler recruitment event. Radical Hamas lovers pounded drums and unleashed a barrage of incendiary chants, including "Resistance is glorious," "Intifada revolution," "No peace on stolen land," "We don't want 2 states," "We want 48," and from New York to Gaza, "Globalize the Intifada," while signs declared Zionism is a death cult and no settlers on stolen land. So there was a lot of variety there. All right. Protesters chant "Death to IDF, resistance is glorious," and "Intifada revolution" at New York City synagogue. Let's hear a little bit. And just think, these are the peaceful ones. Attendees entering and exiting the building were jeered at close range, and one protest leader told the crowd, "It's our duty to make them think twice before holding these events. We need to make them scared," prompting the activists to repeat the line. The New York City Police Department deployed officers and metal barricades to separate the demonstration from a smaller group of Jewish counter-protesters who blew shofars and whistles, shone flashlights at the crowd, and shouted back, "You are cowards, stop protesting in a synagogue." Police said the protests were permitted to report, and there were no arrests. Shocker. Cantor Benny Rozaninski, who serves as both cantor of the Park East Synagogue and the director of the Rabbi Arthur Shiner Park East Day School, described the scene as very disturbing, noting that demonstrators shouted phrases like "Kill the Jews," surprised? "Destroy Israel," and "No Jews in America." He said that members of the community were very, very concerned by the language and by the decision to target a synagogue, according to the New York Post. The scenes outside the Park East triggered a wave of shock reactions from from rabbis, clergy, commentators, activists, and elected officials who framed the protest as a chilling echo of the 1930s, of warning what they call the new Mamdani era in New York. Rabbi Elshon Pupko, who first posted the video on the protest, wrote that anti-Semites showed up at outside Park East Synagogue and were chanting for Intifada, stressing that the synagogue's senior rabbi is a Holocaust survivor who vividly remembers the Kristallnacht, hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, and now sees the same human material outside his own shul. He insisted that this is not about Gaza, has never been about Gaza, and that the demonstration is an attack on the Jewish people. And of course, this comes from Rabbi Pupko. Yeah, it's got a catchy little tune to it, little beat to it, doesn't it? Reverend Jordan Wells, the New York pastor who shared further footage, a mob of anti-Semites outside Park East Synagogue screaming for a globalizing Intifada. There's only one solution, Intifada revolution, noting that the rabbi inside was a child of Kristallnacht when Kristallnacht happened, and is now forced to hear the same hatred, the same bloodlust outside his own synagogue. Reverend Wells concluded that the crowd represented the same ancient virus, now wearing a kafefe instead of a brown shirt. Pretty much the same thing. Conservative radio host Mark Levin chimed in, simply saying that it looks like 1930s Germany. Anti-Semites showed up at the outside park. Okay, no, I'm sorry. That was from Rabbi Pupko. And of course, the same thing. In an extended message to demonstrators, Rabbi Pupko compared them to brown shirts who went from being lonely, economically, and socially broken individuals to feeling powerful outside Jewish stores in Berlin, warning that anti-Semitism is a sweet poison pill. It feels good at the moment, but the price comes only later. The World Jewish Congress said the protests outside the Park East produces scenes eerily reminiscent of Kristallnacht, emphasizing the synagogue's longtime senior rabbi, a witness to Kristallnacht and a veteran JWC leader, knows better than anyone that where this kind of hatred can lead, and insisting such scenes have no place on the streets of New York. So this is the Mamdani era. This is just the beginning, folks, for the next 4 years. You thought that all the jumping up and down, screaming, putting fake blood on you, lying down in the streets, screaming and yelling, death to the Jews in the build-up to the election was bad? You guys haven't seen anything yet. This is just, like I said in the beginning, this is just the tip of the iceberg. So, New Yorkers, expect higher prices, expect getting taxed up the ass royally, especially when it comes to the 1%, when it comes to what? I think Mamdani was talking, an additional $9 billion in taxes? Rent controls, grocery controls, store controls, and, just a taste of protesting outside every single Jewish synagogue in New York City. It's going to happen. This is just the beginning. And like I said also in the beginning of my video, New Yorkers, you voted for this. And with that being said, I'm Jasper Gonzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share it, subscribe to it. Hit the notification bell so you guys never miss a thing. Continue spreading the word about the show. Appreciate you guys watching as always. And we'll see you next time. Peace.